This episode of iFanboy is brought to you by C2E2, the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo.
Welcome to another episode of iFanboy. My name is Ron Richards, and I'm super excited because we're here at the Emerald City Comic-Con in Seattle. It's the first convention of 2011. We're so excited to be here. I'm here. Connor Kilpatrick's here with me. Unfortunately, Josh Flanagan couldn't make it to this con, and last year we had a lot of complaints that people missed Josh at the shows, so to appease the fans, we've hired a Josh stand-in. This is our buddy Philip, or as I like to call him, New Josh. How you doing, New Josh?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to at the show here?
Well, Scalped.
Scalped is good. Yeah.
I got to meet Jeff Lemire. He was good. A little shorter than I thought he'd be.
Oh, interesting. There you go. So as your role as New Josh, can you be funny?
God, I hate you guys.
He's got it. You're hired. We're gonna go check out the show. We're here with Ben Templesmith. How you doing, sir?
Hello. I'm alive.
You're alive.
G'day, Ron. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you again as well. That's good. Yeah. So you're here at the show. You're now a resident of Seattle, so it's your local show now. Right?
As of 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. So is it weird to be on a local show after being just moving here?
Nope.
No.
I used to be San Diego for Comic-Con. So,
right. Yeah. So
this is like nothing.
Tough act to follow, right?
Yeah, but I live out in the suburbs now, so it's a lot harder to get in actually than San Diego ever was because I used to live downtown. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
that's pretty good. This is one of my favorite cons.
Yeah. Cool. So Choker.
Yes.
Are we ever going to see the end of that?
Yeah, Ben got me script like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I have it to finish now.
Okay.
And it's going to be, I promised Image it will be finished before Fell.
Yeah.
So it will be on shelves sometime in the next few months.
Cool.
And then Fell maybe.
Well, then that's my next question is for literally, I think, years now, every time we see you, we go, Fell? As did everybody else.
I have a full script for issue 10.
Yep.
But I think Image want to have a couple more in the bag before they re-solicit it properly, so that it's not just one issue.
Well, that was my question. Was there what because actually I was in San Francisco when at the Noise Pop Festival where you did a live art kind of thing. You were drawing a page of Fell.
James Syme wanted to announce that Fell would actually be coming back.
Yeah.
So he will be.
Yeah.
And I'll be drawing it regardless. I won't be waiting for more script anyway because I've got an issue to work on. So it'll be back.
Very cool. Very cool. So doing that live art thing in San Francisco, was that kind of weird drawing for an audience? Or?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm doing live art tonight.
You are,
at a bar in Seattle as well. So, but this one was webcast and had a big camera on me so I could communicate with the audience. I mean, you were there with notes and things, and I had jokes and stuff. Yeah. And then they went back to the drawing, and I hope I entertain people.
It's quite entertaining, yeah. But I guess the
difference. Do that for money. Yeah. Could I sell tickets to that?
Probably. You'd be surprised, actually.
I'll go to Vegas with that show.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But I guess the live art, so we're doing a live art event here in Seattle, and that's a little different than drawing a page of a sequential story. I mean, is it hard when you got to focus in on the story? How much?
Just a single image.
Yeah.
With alcohol involved, and it's a larger image working on a canvas usually. Yeah. And I do believe iFanboy is sponsoring this event too.
We are, yes, we're very excited. So,
but this is going out months
after
later.
That, we'll already have had a great time at it, so it'll be all.
So you head out to the beep that you can't go back in time for, and it's irrelevant, but it's a really good event, I'm sure.
Yeah, it will be. So, any of your other properties, any of your other stories you're going to be revisiting anytime soon? We can get some more Wormwood, or?
Yeah, I'm working now on a new Wormwood miniseries called Bingo Night in Valhalla.
Cool.
So that should come out sometime this year too.
Yeah.
And then a whole bunch of new stuff as well.
Yep. And you recently put out an art book, right? The Squid Girls, yeah?
Yes, I did. You're very good. Squid Girls is my self-published little art book.
There you go, right here.
Squids and Girls. I only sell them at conventions, and they're very limited in supply. So yeah, they've done really well for me. I always sell out. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we're always impressed at how pretty much any show you've always got a huge line. You've always got a lot of people who.
Not now. Well, they all left.
We timed it really well.
Yeah, they come and go. So this was the first show, this Emerald City Con, outside of San Diego, which was San Diego, that I ever had a line at, and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago?
I remember that. Yeah, I remember you, and you had really wide eyes. Like, it was like...
Well, that's because I was doing crack or something anyway.
Exactly.
But, no, it was really amazing. This show has been my best show.
I'm here with Chris Samnee. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. How are you, Sam?
Good. Now, one of the things that was a sort of big story for us around comics was Thor the Mighty Avenger and the really passionate fan base around that. Was it a shock that people would love this book so much?
Well, I loved it from day one. The first time I read the script, I was like, yeah, this is totally what I'm supposed to be doing. But the reaction to it, I mean, I'd only seen good things. I wasn't really trying to search out bad things on the internet. I wasn't going on any forums or anything. But I'd only seen people like adding me on Twitter or on my blog and saying good things. And it seemed like the response was good. But it just sort of blew up when people got the news that the book was ending. Yeah. And it was mind-blowing. I mean, it's one thing to have, folks at a show and you can kind of talk to, and they've searched you out, and you can see how, what their tastes are or aren't. But so many people just was like, not even saying it to me, but like putting a Facebook page up about saving Thor the Mighty Avenger. It's just insane. I had no idea that so many people were that passionate about it.
It must have been pretty gratifying to know that it's a book that touched a lot of people.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it was a heartwarming book. It was a book that my wife reads. She doesn't read everything that I work on, but yeah, she was really into it. I mean, it worked for all ages. It worked for men or women or kids. It sort of worked for everybody.
And there's one more issue, the Free Comic Book Day issue coming out.
Yeah, we have it's our unofficial number 9. It was in the works before we got the news that the book was going to end. So it wraps up a little bit, but nothing was really tweaked to make it work. It's more just like another of Thor's adventures. He runs into Captain America, and they go back in time, and they meet King Arthur, and they all ride horses and slay dragons. And
man, I missed this book already. So can we go back a second and talk about how you got involved with it? Was it something that Marvel approached you with, or was it Roger that brought you in? Or?
Well, I wasn't the first artist that they went to. I'm not sure who the first one is, but I'm glad they didn't end up doing it. Well, I'd worked with Paul Tobin on an issue of Marvel Adventure Spider-Man at Marvel. And then I worked with Jeff Parker on... Yep, that's you. I worked with Jeff Parker.
Hey, what's up, everybody? iFanboy. Woo!
Well, that hasn't happened in years.
So I worked with Parker on a couple of backups for Agents of Atlas, and those were both with Nate Cosby as the editor. Mm-hmm. And I had grown a nice relationship with Nate, and he asked me if I wanted to draw it, and he sort of sent me the broad outline of what the story was, and I automatically signed on. I was never really... I was a fan of the character Thor, but I didn't ever picture myself drawing it. And when I saw what Roger was going to do with the book, then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, this hits home for me. This isn't just, emo Thor. This is real stuff. It's like, it'll be fun for everybody.
It was really authentic. That's the thing people liked about it, was the Jane-Thor relationship felt very real.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't one-dimensional. Yeah. There was a lot of heart to it. I think Roger Langridge, who was the writer on it, it's just everything is so well-rounded. They seemed like real people. You can read a Superman comic, and Superman is Superman, and Lois Lane is who she is, but they're still sort of surface characters. It takes a really great writer to make them into people, and they felt like real people to me.
So now you're doing an issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. So what was that experience like? Because Ultimate Spider-Man has a long history of great artists. You're one of them. It's a book that great artists seem to really be attracted to.
It's daunting. It's one thing to take on Thor, and it was up to me to sort of decide the look of the book. With Kirby sitting on my shoulder the whole time, but. At the end of the day, it was still my designs of Thor, sort of based on what Kirby had done all those years ago. And with Ultimate Spider-Man, they all have a look, and they all, Mary Jane wears glasses. She's a little, kind of nerdier. Gwen Stacy's sort of punk rock. So it was a change of pace. I'm a big fan of Silver Age and '60s stuff. So, whenever I draw Mary Jane, I think John Romita Sr. So my Mary Jane is sort of a cross between what LaFuente did with her and what Bagley was doing, but with a healthy dose of Romita Senior. So her hair is a little darker. She has her glasses just on her sweater, but it's sort of a throwback, like all of my stuff. It's sort of harkens back to the good old days.
Now, was it a fun sort of change of pace to sort of have to incorporate not just your ideas, but the ideas of other people? As you said, the design's already in place. It's to sort of meld your styles together.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't find out until after, but I did character sketches of all the characters that were going to be in the issue, and I sent them off to my editor and to Bendis, and I found out just like a week or so ago. He was like, I thought that was really cute. You didn't, like, I trust you to draw Mary Jane. You didn't have to send me a design to get approved. So, but I felt like I had to get them out on paper first to make sure that I knew what I wanted to do and try to keep it on model, panel after panel, and not try and lean toward, like, one panel should look like LaFuente, one panel looks like Bagley drew it. So I tried to bring my own sensibilities to it, but certainly everybody's sort of squeezed inside because I had all of the reference material laying out all across my desk while I was working. So there's like 5 or 6 amazing pencilers already. So yeah, it's I don't really feel like I belong in that group. It's like one of these things doesn't belong.
Well, now you're going to get a lot. I think you're going to get a lot more high-profile work. In fact, you're going to have some stuff coming up from Marvel this year. I think. Are you ready for that bigger time now? Because you're going to be on a lot. You're going to be on a lot of books people are going to be reading.
I don't know. It's sort of bizarre to think like that. People have come by and said like, "How does it feel for your star to be on the rise?" And I sit in my office all day. I don't really think about it. I'm the guy who feeds the cat in the morning and cleans the litter box at night. I'm just some dude.
This is not star work.
Yeah.
Where's my assistant?
Yeah, so it's just, this is just my job. It's sort of strange. So it's weird for there to be a whole lot of eyes on comics for sure. But at the end of the day, I just have to not think about how many people are reading it and just keep doing the best that I can. I try and please myself and my editors and my writer, and beyond that, I'll just have to do the best I can.
So I'm here with Jay Faerber. How you doing?
Yes, good. How are you doing?
Very good. So you announced a new book here at the show.
Near Death.
Yeah.
Image Comics, September 2011 we launched.
Excellent. So it's a little bit of a different kind of book than what people are used to with your work.
No superheroes, no illegitimate kids or family drama. It's just a straight crime book. Just crime, action, adventure kind of thing.
Cool. And has this been an idea that you've been kind of knocking around your head for a while?
Yeah, I've had it for literally years, and I finally found the right artist to do it with. And his name, which I cannot remember for the life of me, Simone, and I'm totally butchering this, Gigliomini, I think.
Is this another one of these guys you found on the internet?
I did.
I got to give you credit. You find artists that, and they're great artists.
He's fantastic. Where do you see this guy's stuff? He's really, really good. I mean, he's perfect for this book.
Cool.
He can draw anything I throw at him.
Excellent.
Real, true life kind of stuff. He can draw cars, animals, buildings, people's realistic clothing, that kind of stuff.
And what country is he in?
He's in Spain.
He's in Spain. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
So you automatically assume that I had to go outside the American borders.
Right, well, that's the thing. I mean, all these
my modus operandi.
and we won't say what websites it is. I'm sure people can figure it out. But you have a knack for finding these artists, and then honestly, like you've never met them, I assume, right?
Yeah, no, never even spoken to him.
So how is that work process? It's all email.
It's all email. Yep,
wow.
Yep. That's why I don't know how to pronounce his name. I've never heard it said, literally. But he's a great guy. He gets. He gets the scripts. He's not afraid of research in terms of photo reference. A lot of times the book is set in Seattle, and a lot of times I'll send him photo reference of stuff that I've found, and he'll take the reference I've sent him, and he'll also go and find his own. He'll find more. So it's great. It's really lots of local landmarks and local atmosphere that we're incorporating.
Awesome. So is it a miniseries or an ongoing?
Ongoing series.
Wow.
Ongoing series, full color.
Yeah.
As I say this, he is about halfway through issue 3, so we've got a nice lead time, and we're not launching it till September, so we've got, we're going to have a nice buffer of material.
Cool. So, and it's a crime book, but what's the kind of premise?
The premise is there's a contract killer named Markham, who is nearly killed on one of his assignments, and he has a near-death experience, and sees the hell that awaits him when he finally dies. And when he wakes up, he never wants to go back there, and he decides that he needs to balance the scales and start saving a life for every life he's taken over the course of his career. So he becomes sort of this bodyguard, protector kind of guy. But he still doesn't like people. It hasn't made him a good person. He's doing this solely out of the goodness, or solely out of a self-interest. Right. So he doesn't care about the people's problems or anything. He has a terrible bedside manner. He's a misanthrope. And the kind of approach will be each issue is a different case for him. So there'll be some serial elements, but it's pretty much standalone. You can pick up the book in any issue. One and done. A new case each issue.
Cool.
So.
And is that challenging in the single issue kind of format?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have to think of ways to get into the story as quickly as possible and tie it up quickly while still having complications and keeping it interesting and stuff. So it's pretty dense. A lot of 8 and 9 panel pages, not many double page spreads, that kind of thing. We try to pack as much material in there as we can.
Awesome. So any future of the superhero side of things for you?
Superhero side of things? Dynamo 5 is kind of in flux right now. Yeah. We're talking about doing another miniseries, but it's still up in the air as to just when that's going to happen. But Near Death is where my focus is on right now.
Cool, awesome. Well, good luck with the book. I can't wait to see it. So.
Yeah, great. We've got Tom Coker on covers as well, I should say, for the first few issues at least. Cool. Turning in some amazing stuff. So it's just a beautiful package, start to finish.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a good one. So
thank you. I hope so.
Awesome.
Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, also known as C2E2. March 18th through 20th. McCormick Place in downtown Chicago. Graphic novels, comics, games. C2E2, C2E2.
C2E2 is awesome.
C2E2.com. Movies. TV. Cosplay.
We are at C2E2 in Chicago.
Meet me there, please.
I'm here with Frank Quitely. How you doing?
Great, thanks.
Now, we haven't seen you a lot at cons. We're every year, and you haven't been at a con in a while, right, in the United States?
2002, I think, was the last time I was here.
And you're going to be in San Francisco, so you just decided...
Yeah, San Francisco and Boston.
Oh, so you're doing a U.S. tour this year?
No, I hadn't been to the States for a long time, and I actually hadn't been doing shows for a long time, and I did a couple in Europe, and then I decided to do a few over here, and I'm also doing one in Rosario, in Argentina, Eduardo Rito's show. So
it's the Frank Quitely World Tour going on?
Well, it's the North American tour, the North American mini tour.
So there's a couple of, they're releasing Flex Mentallo. That must be exciting. It's been gone for a while. Are you doing any work for that trade?
I'm colouring the cover. They asked me to do a new cover, but I had actually done a cover for the trade paperback back in 96 or 97 or something, just before the court case. And Grant really wanted to use that one, just because everything else in it was old. I'm selling as well, haven't I? So we went.
It's consistent then.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, but we're getting it recolored. Peter Doherty's recolouring it.
And is there also a We3 collection coming out too?
There is, yeah. And I'm not sure what else is going in the We3 collection. I think there's going to be sketchbook material and maybe script, but I'm not sure. And there's 10 extra story pages as well. So I've actually got them in my hotel room. I'm working on them while I'm here.
As we speak?
Well, not right as we speak.
With your toes?
Nearly, yeah.
So you and Grant are one of those, seems like magical pairings in comics. What is it about you guys' relationship, your working relationship, that seems to produce this great work?
I don't know. The two of us we just really like working together, and I mean, we both always do our best work, whoever we're working with, but we both feel that something clicks when we work together, and some other people seem to think so too. So,
do you have any future collaborations? Are you going to come back and do some more Batman stuff with him, or?
The next thing, the only thing that I know is definite is he's doing these multiversity books, and so I'm doing one of them, the Pax Americana one.
Are we going to get more interior work from you this year, or you just stick with the cover stuff?
No, I'll be doing hopefully mostly interiors this year. Okay. I was doing covers for a year there because I had sciatica, a back problem, and it kind of doing the covers took me out of the deadline thing, pretty much. So that was good for while I was recovering. But on We3 just now, and then Pax Americana, and it'll be another project after that. So undecided as yet.
Do you miss storytelling? I mean, it's
yeah. I mean, I enjoy doing covers, but I mean, after doing them for the best part of a year, I was really itching to get back into doing some interiors again.
That Batman and Robin series that you did the first arc on, it seemed like special. What was it about those characters that really seemed to work? Dick Grayson and Damian characters together.
I guess it was just a different dynamic from Batman and Robin. You normally have this serious Batman, with years of experience, and this young, chirpy Robin, and then you had like this incredibly serious, badass Robin, and a much more light-hearted Batman. But he was also feeling the responsibility of kind of trying to be the parent, big brother kind of role as well to somebody who just didn't want it. So I mean, it was a nice spin in the original idea, the original dynamic anyway. But it was also. Like with all the Grant stuff, it was well thought out and well written. So.
Now, did you do the sound effects too? That was kind of new and retro at the same time. You drawing in the sound effects. That must have been fun.
Yeah, it was. That was something Grant specifically asked for. It was something I used to do in my work when I did like independent stuff years ago, and there'd been a few times in different projects, particularly in the UK, where I had used sound effects as part of the artwork. But yeah, it was just he just said, remember you used to do that kind of stuff, do it for this. It was that simple.
Now I know you haven't seen the film, but it must have been cool for them to take All-Star Superman and animate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Bruce Timm's here. We can go talk to him about getting you a copy if you want.
No, the guys in the DC booth have assured me that I'm getting a copy now.
I'm here with Jeff Parker, who's ready to bring it to the Emerald City Comic Con.
I've got Americano. I'm drawing pictures. I'm signing comic books.
It's crazy.
It is awesome. This is the best show in Seattle. In most of the country, yeah.
So you are on a bit of a tear, Mr. Parker, over at Marvel Comics between the Hulk and the Thunderbolts.
Yes.
Like, really, a lot of the fans are really digging what you've been doing on both titles.
I know. That's had to work out sometime, didn't it?
Exactly. The odds were in your favor sooner or later.
It's like, they'll just keep canceling everything I do. And then finally, Hulk and Thunderbolts, yes.
So you moved on to the Hulk after Jeff Loeb finished up his run. Mm-hmm. That's that epic 2-year run was kind of some big shoes to fill. Was it kind of intimidating to pick up that book from where they started, or did you not really think about that?
I often get stuck in that kind of position, so it's like, if that were going to choke me up, I'd be just cuddling, crying on the ground all the time, or whatever. And it's Loeb just kind of popped me in the head, said do whatever, and walked off. And I went, okay, so I was fine. And mainly because I knew Gabe Hardman was going to be working with me, I was like, I can do anything, and Gabe Hardman will sell it.
Yeah.
I can do the most ridiculous storyline in the world, and Gabe will make it the best storyline in the world.
Yeah.
That's not what I intended to do.
That's how it worked out.
Yeah.
So your take on the Red Hulk is really interesting in terms of, he's a character who, not the whole Marvel Universe knows his true identity. Steve Rogers does, Banner does.
Yeah,
and he's kind of
more people, maybe.
Yeah, and he's a man who's spent his whole life with a mission, and now that's all changed. So writing that character, I mean, how does that affect the positions you're putting him into?
It's nice because, one, he has been around since the beginning. He's in the very first Hulk comic, so he's got a lot of history. At the same time, it's kind of mythic that way. I don't have to refer to the specific moments very much. It's like, this is the guy who always chased the Hulk. That's all you need to know. Maybe. I think a lot of people now are relating to it as, this is a guy who's just had to do a major career change. And everybody in the country, in all countries, is now going through that. So everybody can, oh yeah, I was one thing forever, and now I've got to become something totally new. All the best Marvel and superhero comics, I think, work on that level. So that gives me a kind of huge edge, which is nice.
Yeah, very cool. So the one question it's on everyone's mind about the Red Hulk is that damn mustache.
Brother, I am trying to get that stash in there. It's going to be an uphill battle, but I feel at the end of the day, you're going to see a big red guy with a sweet stash just kind of grooming it while he's waiting to do something. It's going to be the best comic in the world.
Yeah. So over on Thunderbolts, you got a unique situation of this. That's a title that's got a long history. Mm-hmm. So many other creators have worked on it, but then they're kind of imprint on it. And yet somehow you've come in and are doing something completely different and unique with a cast of characters that keeps everybody guessing.
Yeah, again, I think it's because I'm working with these badasses like Kev Walker and Declan Shalvey, who will, again, sell anything I put down. And
including
just
Wood God.
Even Wood God. Well, that was Ed McGuinness. He sold that.
Yeah, true, yeah.
But, and he killed on Wood God.
He did actually. That was over in Hulk, right?
He made Wood God look great. It's like I kind of went for what I feel like readers want out of the Thunderbolts. They want people getting the hell beat out of them. Right. So that's what I'm trying to give them in the most surprising ways possible. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love the fact that everybody doubted why Man-Thing should even be in there, and now he's everyone's favorite character. Yep. It's about time Man-Thing had a big team book somewhere.
So, writing a team with a cast of characters like that, with such great characters like Man-Thing and Ghost and stuff like that, do you find yourself leaning towards like, oh, I really like writing this guy, so putting him in more scenes, or? Yeah,
I do try to fight against that, so that I don't make it all about, and Man-Thing and friends are going to go take on these zombies or something. I do try to give everybody equal time. It's weird; they kind of get it anyway. I will often be writing a scene. And I think this is really just kind of showcasing Ghost. And then Moonstone will just horn in from nowhere and kind of take it over. And I didn't mean to do it. So I'm glad, hopefully, that energy will keep flowing that way.
Awesome. So recently you just entered the webcomic world with Bucko. So folks who might not have heard about that, what is Bucko?
Bucko is it's not somebody who shoots lasers out of their ass or anything yet. It's a story about My partner, Erica Moen, calls it a dick and fart joke murder mystery. And that's probably as good a way to describe it as to invent a genre as you can. It's very based around where we live in Portland, and it's almost based exclusively on crap people say in Periscope Studio where I work. And so like in the webcomic, which is buckocomic.com, everybody tends to ride bikes everywhere. There's lots of coffee shops and all the things that you expect, and tons of hipsters. And we haven't even gotten really to the good, weird stuff yet. That's coming up in a few weeks. So, and Eric is here at the show. But yeah, this frees me up to do some stuff that there's no way I could do this in a Marvel comic. Right. So I can indulge myself and have people potty mouth and all that sort of thing.
And is it fun to break away from the 22-page format, doing the like the digital kind of whole thing?
Yeah, with that I try to really make it all about that day, so that every Tuesday and Friday something happens that moves the story along, and it works as its own little unit, and yet will work as a book when we're all done. Yeah. So yeah, it is very different from 22 or 20. Now.
Right, 20,
it's 20 now. That's kind of thrown me a little bit, but I'm figuring it out.
Does the losing that 2 pages affect it that much, or?
Well, luckily I've come up with strategies for it. So I'm still trying to, because I don't want to cheat artists out of being able to do a nice big splash every now and then.
Right.
But I've found ways. It's like, okay, if I set up a double-page spread with some small panels running along the bottom, and then on the top I can still have a big massive splash and still get in the same number of panels that I was going to do in a 22-page story. It's just taken a little unicycle backpedaling on my part to figure it out, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. But it's weird because I've done so many 22-page comics.
It's just kind of
that's the way I think of things. Yeah, so it's good. It's probably good to snap me out of it. And I think deadlines are getting made everywhere a lot faster now.
That's good. Yeah,
shaving that little 2 pages off has kind of helped everybody.
Who knew, right?
Yeah.
So
and everybody enjoys not paying $1.
Right. Yeah. So. True, yeah. Exactly. So when we first talked, I think a couple of years ago, we were talking about X-Men First Class. You're working on that book. Now the movie's coming out.
Did you know they made a movie of X-Men First Class?
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
But recently your work is back in print and people can pick it up.
Yes.
How does knowing that the movie's coming out and that more people are going to be exposed to what you did on X-Men? How does that kind of feel? Like, because I know the movie isn't exactly like your book, but
yeah, it's not. But actually, they're doing some stuff in the movie that I would have been happy to do in the book. I would love setting in the '60s, but there was no way I was going to do it.
Right.
And I would have made Angel a girl. I don't know if they did that in the movie, but I hope they did.
I've heard something like that, or Pixie's in it instead of Angel, or something like that. Or,
really, Pixie?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted it to be Angel as a girl. Whatever. Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah. But I wasn't supposed to affect continuity with that book. Right. But anyway, Marvel let me go through and hand pick out a batch of stories for 2 digest-sized things. So, we'll have those out, and then hopefully people will come from the movie and go, I saw X-Men First Class, and then we'll just hand them these books, and then they'll love me.
True, exactly, yeah. Fans for life.
Me. Yeah, and
because you brought it back then, too. I mean, you didn't just bring it this year.
I was already bringing it. Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to the movie, though.
That wraps up part 1 of our Emerald City Comic Con coverage. We had lots of great interviews. We've got even more for you next week, so stick around. In the meantime, go to iFanboy.com. That's where you can find all of our other shows. You can comment on this show. You can tell us what you thought. All kinds of great stuff happening there. Send us an email at contact@ifanboy.com. And you call our voicemail line at 888-FANBOYS, which is 326-2697. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/ifanboy. All kinds of great stuff. So stick around for next week. We have a whole bunch of con shows for you coming this month. It's going to be a lot of fun. See you next week.
It's going to be turning the tables.
I'm really excited because the show just started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good. All right. So I'm here with Jeff Parker. How you doing?
What's up, man?
First con. All right. First con of the year. 3, 2.
And that's it for part 1 of our C2E2 coverage.